Let's get to him. The man, the myth, the legend, Brian Baldinger joining us right now. Ooh, Baldy, you are looking sharp, my friend.
Yeah, every once in a while you just got to clean it up. You just got to. And then when the Broncos put together a 3-game win streak, I mean, it's cause for celebration. Let's pick everything up around here a little bit.
Let's go. I love it. And I mean, the Broncos brought out their good-looking uniforms. You're bringing out your nice suit coat jacket. So, Baldy, I want to talk about the star of this past game, Pat Surtain. He was just named AFC Defensive Player of the Week this week. Do you think with the type of season he's putting together pick sixes, that he has a real shot at being named Defensive Player of the Year once this season's done?
He talked about it yesterday. He knows that Stephon Gilmore's the last one to do it as a Patriot, I think maybe 2018 or 19. He's aware that it doesn't often they're not often candidates. They look for the guys that have the sacks. But you have to consider it right now. Over especially the last 2 weeks, what he did to Garrett Wilson, what he did last week, breaking that streak of 8 straight Raider victories, and the way the team is playing defensively right now. I mean, he's a big key ingredient along with everybody's got the role, but you have to, it's 5 weeks in, but you have to consider Patrick Surtain right now. You're not really having a real competition for the award if you're not.
How do you think this secondary as a whole is performing? Because I know we had some questions coming into the season just because you have new faces at safety. Riley Moss gets his try. To all of us in Denver, it seems like through the first 5 weeks you couldn't have asked for much more. Is that what you see?
Yeah, totally. I see like a really good shell, whether it's Riley, Jaquan, Patrick, PJ, the PJ, like I think it's played very well. The ball's not going over their heads. They're not giving up big plays. I always say this, that if you don't get good safety play, and I could point to 10 teams off the top of my head right now, when you don't get good safety play, you're going to either miss tackles and give up touchdowns, or the ball's going to go over your head like it did against the Ravens last week, and you're going to give up big play after big play. And so you're not seeing that right now. That's always a function of good safety play.
Baldy, this defensive unit is playing really well together, and if they keep playing like this, we're going to have to start thinking of a nickname, and I wanted to know if you had thought of anything or can think of anything that will work for this Broncos defense.
Well, I mean, Orange Crush is taken. That's legendary. That's from a different era. So we can't go backwards. We have to go forward. I feel like it's going to come. I just feel like it's going to come. Maybe it's against the Chargers this week. I don't know. But I feel like there's something there that is building. I don't think you can name it. I don't think I want to name it yet. But I feel like there's certainly a name that's going to come that is going to define the whole group. Because I think it's, you put Sternob in there instead of, Alex Singleton, you're thinking, okay, there's going to be a drop-off. And there's no drop-off. And you go, and like I don't think a lot of people know who DJ Jones is. Like, I don't think a lot of people know, John Franklin Myers. I mean, I just don't think people know those names. And so no-name defense has been taken. That's to another generation. But something is going to present itself. And I think it's going to come pretty soon if they keep playing like this.
I love it, Baldy. And someone that presented themselves this past week was Bo Nix on the sideline. John at Sean Payton, letting him have it. Sean Payton going right back at it. We heard Sean say that he likes that from his quarterback and his players. What did you think of that interaction on the sideline?
Well, we saw it last year with Russell Wilson. I mean, for a long time we didn't see it from Sean Payton because he had Drew Brees. Like, you're not going to – that's a Hall of Fame quarterback. And if there was a mistake or was something like – it was settled differently. This is a quarterback that he's grooming. And I like it personally. Like, whatever was said, and I don't pretend to know, whatever was said was it's needed. It's necessary. You're grooming a young quarterback to be the face of the organization, to play increasingly better, which he has. I like it. I don't like coaches that just let things just go, and they're just into their play chart. Like, I just feel like Sean – there's a place to do that, and it's not undressing a player. And if a player comes back at him, it comes back at him. But I like that intercourse. I like that combativeness myself. And they just fired a coach in New York that refused to do that on the sideline, and I think it hurt him in the long run. And so I think that I have no problem with that being demonstrative and fixing things in the moment. Like, I think that's what coaches should do.
Do you think Bo is where the Broncos should want him to be as a rookie quarterback through 5 weeks?
Well, I mean, all we've seen him do is improve, like steadily improve. And he's not making mistakes. He's not turning the ball over right now. I think he's making good decisions. I don't know how anybody could expect more. He knows the defense is playing good football. They're not giving up a lot of points. Surtain gets him right back in the game last week and ties it up. Like, I think he's playing within his limits, whatever those are. And I think we all can agree that we're seeing improvement. And, we're seeing improvement from Caleb. Jaden is off the charts good. So this is what I know. This league has always been built on the backs of young quarterbacks replacing old quarterbacks. And I feel like we've got 3 right now that we're looking at that have that chance to replace the guys that are leaving. And, whenever Stafford goes or Aaron goes, whatever, like, we need good young quarterbacks. Because when this was a 12-team league, we didn't have enough good quarterbacks. So we need young quarterbacks. Now, last week, I was in Cincinnati, and it's Joe Burrow and Lamar going at it. And honestly, it's as entertaining a game as I've seen all year and probably quite some time. But it's because we got great quarterback play.
Baldy, as we talk about this offense and Bo Nix improving, I felt like the O-line is a good job of stepping up and helping him. And what is it about this O-line that kind of helps them get going? They lose Mike McGlinchey. Palcho comes in. Palcho's out for a couple plays. Next guy comes in. Garrett Bowles is out for a couple plays. Next guy comes in, and they kind of don't miss a beat. Is it just they're playing well together? Is it Zach Strief and his coaching? What is it about this Broncos offensive line that they have things clicking right now?
Yeah, and then, you don't forget the center, too. I mean, the center's there shotgun snapping the ball at the end of the game. So, no, I mean, I think you got to point to Zach, and look, I mean, the good thing about Zach is, he played for Sean, then he coached with Sean. And so, he knows what Sean is like. He knows what he's looking for. He knows how they want to run the ball, whether it's 2 backs, shotgun, under center. I think getting the next guy up, it's, it's imperative. You can't have these drop-offs. You just can't. And you're on your third right tackle. The offense still has to move. I think it's a product of coaching. Andy Reid has had that for a long time with his offensive line coach since he's been there in Kansas City. You want to be able to get the next guy up and ready without a drop off. I think we saw good evidence of that last week. And so, I don't know. Sean's not coaching the offensive line. He might, be putting a game plan together. That's Zach's job and the assistants there. So you got to take the hats off to him right now.
Well, Baldy, let's just keep the compliments for Zach going. I love it. Even if you're not talking about me, Zach, you're talking about the other Zach. I want to kind of continue down that route. Javonte Williams really struggled in the first couple of weeks of the season, averaging just over 2 yards per carry. These past few weeks, he's almost at 5 yards per carry. Is that a credit to the offensive line? Is that Javonte? Is that Sean Payton? What's got this Broncos run game going recently?
Well, I think it started with the commitment. It started really in the second half of that Jets game, when the running game really got going. And, it's bad weather. You want to try to limit, as many bad plays as possible by throwing it in a tight ball game. I think it started then. And then the commitment was there. They were rotating backs like crazy to start the season. They were just looking for somebody to get hot. You had the rookie in there. So I think it's a commitment. And then I think he's getting better looks, better runways, where his strength has always been contact balance. You go back to North Carolina, the film that he put out there going into the draft. He's always had that. He had that his rookie year. You get the injury. I feel like he's back, and there's a commitment. Okay, he's the clear-cut number one. The line is doing a better job of creating holes for him, and then he's playing to his strength, which is he's a hard guy to tackle in the open field.
Baldy, you're number one out there. We really appreciate you joining us today, and we look forward to talking to you next week. Maybe we're talking about a 4-game win streak and the Broncos taking on the Saints the following week. Thank you so much for your expertise. We love talking to you.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you next week, man. I'm looking forward to that game big time.
Yeah, me too. Thank you, Baldy. Man, the best.